Hey fandoms, we are back again, this time with a different twist about the NBA vibes. All too often when we talk about the NBA, we talk about the players' personal lives in a negative light. I hear the terms thug and gangster thrown around regularly. It's partly because of that image that has now grown to be associated with NBA culture, with everything from long shorts that became popular in the 90s to basketball jerseys littering rap videos. And it's partly because the NBA has the most recognizable athletes in the country because they don't wear football pads or hats. Still, I find that reputation to be unjustly placed on a league that has been full of, for the most part, good, honest and respectful people. Even the bad eggs in the basket have had their inspirational moments. We often look at sports and sensationalize what's going on, but the problem is that we tend to look at the negative side. Well, I'd like to sensationalize the positive side for a moment here. Today, let's have a look at 5 inspirational stories which can leave an emotional impact on us. So, let's begin. The first inspirational story we have is of Jimmy Butler. Before becoming the huge NBA star he is nowadays, Jimmy Butler had one of the most heartbreaking yet exciting life stories, as the Marquee product was abandoned by his father shortly after he was born in Tomball, Texas, back in 1989. Nevertheless, young Jimmy managed to stay on course and focused on sports, mainly as a football player, as he was a passionate football fan just like every other Texas kid since the first day of history, but also being quite a talented baseball player before finally settling for the hoops when he finally grew several inches. However, things weren't going quite so well for a young Jimmy Butler, as his own mother kicked him out of the house at a tender age of 13, making him bounce from one couch to another and spending some nights in the gym to try and avoid the streets, being homeless as a mere teenager. When Jimmy flourished and decided to attend Tyler Junior College, a Marquee Scott spotted him while recruiting another guy and made him an offer to join his basketball program when he got the head coach gig, an offer that, of course, the youngster had to accept to try and make a living out of the sport he learned to love. However, his coach was extremely rough to the guard forward, making him want to quit the game. Gladly, Butler overcame that tough love and continued to grow as a two-way player, especially improving his already good defense while still kind of struggling to be a consistent jump shooter, but constantly finding ways to make a positive impact on the floor and become the ultimate difference maker for his team. So, after blossoming for Marquee, the Bulls decided to trust Butler and choose him with the 30th pick of the 2011 NBA draft, handling his minutes very carefully during the first couple of years before completely setting him free, mostly due to key injuries. Years went by and the Bulls decided to part ways with Luol Deng, while Derrick Rose was never able to suit up or stay healthy, leaving the door wide open for a Jimmy Butler that took the league for surprise and improved his game in every single aspect on a nightly basis. Butler was the only Chicago's clear leader on and off the court. He's grown into one of the most gifted two-way players in the NBA, but Chicago Bulls wanted a rebuild. So after Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler was the next one to leave, one of the best franchises in the league. He was then picked as the player for Timberwolves in the 2017 NBA draft. He then stood probably at the position of second most important player of the Timberwolves, and we guess the hard work did pay off. Let's have a look at the second inspirational story. Magic Johnson. There is winning and there's losing, and in life both will happen. What is never acceptable to me is quitting. Magic Johnson. Who would have known one of the greatest basketball players in NBA history would have retired after just 12 years due to testing positive for HIV? Irvin Johnson Jr., later known as Magic Johnson, was interested in basketball at an early age and spent hours on the court. During Magic's high school years and NBA years, he managed to achieve many accomplishments on and off the court. Magic Johnson is a very inspirational person and a hero because of his hard work and compassion. Magic Johnson's tenacity and initiative towards basketball has made him into the inspirational legend he is today. As a result of his hard work, he managed to win the Most Valuable Player award his rookie year at the young age of 20, along with 5 championship rings throughout his career. Johnson's hard work inspires people of all ages to play basketball. His inspiration is found even more so among teenagers who are looking to compete at higher levels or earn potential scholarships. As a sophomore at Lansing Everett High School, Johnson led his team to the Class A state tournament quarterfinals. The next year, the team reached the semifinals, and in Johnson's senior year, they won the championship. Without Johnson on his sophomore team, they would have undoubtedly never made the quarterfinals. His skill only improved with time, as shown by his accomplishments year after year. Leaving college after 2 years, Johnson was drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers in 1979. Johnson's dedication for basketball led him to greater heights and straight into the NBA after 2 years of college. He was able to be the best of the best after only 2 years into his college career. Johnson's will and tenacity towards basketball have inspired the lives of many people of all ages. After retiring from the NBA, Johnson's compassion led him to representing and spreading AIDS awareness. Soon after he announced he was HIV positive, he established the Magic Johnson Foundation to promote HIV and AIDS prevention and awareness. The drive that once took him to new heights in basketball had been redirected towards the prevention of what seemed to be his Achilles heel. His positive outlook towards HIV showed that there was a bright side on even the bleakest of situations. Even off the court, Johnson is an inspiration to the people. Moving on to the next story we have on our list, and that is of Larry Bird. Growing up, we saw the amazing Larry Bird as an inspiration too. He was a ruthless competitor who wanted to win at all costs. He ended his career with 3 NBA titles and 3 MVP awards. He also played in 12 All-Star games, a testament to his consistency. Whilst he was 6'9" tall, he certainly wasn't blessed with the same athletic abilities of many of his peers. He knew that talent alone wasn't going to get the job done, so he found other ways to get to the top. Bird's success started in high school when he would shoot 200 free throws every day before school. Then when he went to college, he was the first one to the gym for practice and the last to leave. This solid foundation in the fundamentals of his sport gave him a technique that he was able to trust throughout his career. His evergreen practices and hard work made him a spot in NBA. And even then, he didn't leave his habit of frequent practices. With just a few seconds left in the game, the Celtics needed to score to win, and they called a timeout. As the coach drew up a play, Larry interjected, saying, "Just give me the ball and get everyone out of the way." It was hard to argue with him. As the players made their way back out to the court, Bird went straight to his opponent, renowned tough guy Xavier McDaniel, and told him that he was going to get the ball and pointed to the spot where he was going to hit the winning shot from. You know how the story ends. Larry got the ball and hit the shot just as he predicted, and marched triumphantly off the court with his teammates, while his opponents just shook his head. After winning his first championship, Larry celebrated for the night with his teammates. Early the next morning, one of his teammates who lived nearby dropped by to continue the drinking session. He was greeted by Larry's wife, who explained that Larry was out jogging, preparing for the next season. Larry's biography was called Drive, and this word is a great description of the inner will that he had to maximize his potential and get the most from his career. He has this one word, handwork, stuck to his mind, and he implemented it all over. The fourth encouraging story we have is of Kevin Johnson. Every kid I knew while growing up wanted to be Kevin Johnson. We all practiced his crossover move on the playgrounds and wanted to know how he magically navigated past all defenders. What I know now is that Kevin Johnson had one of the best first steps in NBA history. You could not keep him in front of you, and even if you tried to deny penetration, he would kill you with the mid-range pull-up. He was a terrific passer and was also great in the passing lanes. In his 11 seasons with the Suns, KJ was an All-Star 3 times and an All-NBA second-team member 4 times. He led us to our greatest season in 1992-93 as well. Prior to the new wave of athletic point guards playing above the rim, KJ was their grandfather, beginning in 1992. Kevin Johnson never played in more than 70 games. Every year it seemed like something else on his body would break. It was frustrating as a fan because you really felt cheated in not being able to see him play. He started to get a soft label around town for a while, and in retrospect, that is a shame. He was always attacking the basket recklessly, and thinking about it now, it's a wonder why he wasn't always hurt. During his 12-year NBA career, first with the Cleveland Cavaliers and later with the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Johnson was one of basketball's leading playmakers. The three-time NBA All-Star is one of only 4 players to average at least 20 points and 10 assists per game in 3 different seasons. In July 1989, shortly after the close of his second season, Johnson returned to the inner-city Sacramento neighborhood where he grew up. He launched a non-profit after-school program housed in a portable classroom on the grounds of Sacramento High School. Today's Johnson's non-profit has taken over the entire high school, and then some. Johnson retired from basketball in 2000 and began focusing all of his discipline, energy, and intelligence on his 11-year-old non-profit. Under his leadership, St. Hope has blossomed into a full-fledged community revitalization project. St. Hope Public Schools, a pre-K to 12 charter school district serving 2,000 students, St. Hope Neighborhood Corps, which trains young people to be community leaders, 40 Acres Art Gallery, which sponsors exhibitions, films, lectures, performances and classes, and St. Hope Development Company, which has generated more than 11 million in development projects, creating 14 businesses and 282 jobs. The last story we have on the list is of the legend Michael Jordan. Ask any NBA fan, or any person for that matter, who the greatest basketball player of all time is, and one name will come to mind. Michael Jordan is recognized by the association, by the fans, and even by his colleagues as a basketball icon. He was rejected by his school basketball team, and even when he got a chance, he didn't stand the position was worthy of him. This disregard did not cause him to falter. He did not quit the team, rather he trained even more to perfect himself in the field. Doing so earned him a valuable place in the junior basketball varsity team and eligibility for a college basketball scholarship. The University of North Carolina, along with many others, offered Michael Jordan a basketball scholarship grant. He accepted this and established his position as a skilled basketball player while studying cultural geography. He didn't even finish college before heading for the Big Dome. He opted to join the NBA in his junior year, but returned later to finish his course. After being drafted as the number 3 pick in the National Basketball Association's 1984 season, he immediately started making a name for himself. He bagged the Rookie of the Year recognition and started pulling the Chicago Bulls' weight into the playoffs. In 1990, after 5 seasons of professionally playing the game he loved, he led the Chicago Bulls to a 3-year winning streak. The team captured another 3 championship trophies later, all 6 credits given to the basketball superstar. MJ had great scoring capabilities. He averaged 33 points per game in the regular season and 30 points per game in the playoffs. He was a constant pick in the NBA All-Star Games and brought pride to the United States in the Olympics. He was recognized as the best defensive player in the 1988 season, was honored with the Most Valuable Player award numerous times, and was decked into the Basketball Hall of Fame. His achievements in the court were insurmountable, making him the top contender for the best basketball player of all time title. His knowledge and skill were great, although these alone did not give him the nicknames Air Jordan and his airness. Michael played with a touch of finesse and sophistication. The stories are all about the hard work and dedication that paid off. These players had set up a mark in the NBA platform and set up an example for every future basketball player. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and thumbs up if you've liked it, and do hit the subscribe button so that you won't be missing out on any interesting videos from now on.